Oh, God, so we're opening with Grand Drag moaning about her mansion. And now the house is haunted. Now we got Candy saying she's not very emotional about her move. Why should you be? The house is paid off. Both of them. Oh, Lord, now we have our first Mama Joyce wig. Oh, so now we find out Heifer Joyce found this two-house, and she thought she was going to be living next door, and Candy ended up getting some dick and saying no. So that's why Mama Joyce was pissed at Todd, because Todd conned her out of a new house. Ah, now I see. Well, in her mind, Todd didn't con anybody, but you know, that's how she thinks. And now we have Kim's racist undertones with her comments about Candy living in the ghetto. Nene said, just tell her like it is. Your credit wouldn't let you get this mortgage, and that's why you gotta go. Oh, this is a yawn of an episode. Now we got Aiden's first haircut. Best fiends. Oh, Lord. Apollo by trade is a master barber. He's a pure patsy and a thorough flunky, but a master barber? Boom. Oh, Lord. So now Phaedra and Apollo are arguing over this baby party at the aquarium for $20,000. Y'all just like making up numbers arbitrarily. Ain't no birthday party at an aquarium, $20,000. Maybe 2, but not 20. Boy, back in the day when we first started with Portia, we never could see her without Cordelia. She just loved to get her big hip butt in the camera. So she's complaining to Cordelia about Kenya's actions at the party. Well, Portia was right. They will never be relatable to each other or be friends. Oh, Lord. So now we have Kenya, Walter and his toupee, with Aunt Lesbian at dinner. Walter said, oh, we met through a mutual friend. I told him I was kind of interested. That is exactly what you were, kind of, you know. Do you want a cup of cocoa? You know, I'm kind of interested. Yeah, if you're already making some, sure, I'll take a cup. That's exactly how he felt about her. It was, you know, sure. Oh, Lord. Kenya said, oh, he chased me for a while. You can't chase what's sitting still or running towards you. Hook me up, hook me up. Walter said, I said all that? Okay, I mean, I'm going to let you act a fool on camera. Walter, what do you think about marriage? Asked Aunt Lesbian. Ooh, child, Walter and his toupee looked nervous. He said if I was going to get married again, I would really need to be in love. And it ain't with you. It ain't with, you know, okay. I was kind of interested. He's kind of interested. He is not in love. I don't even think in love was in the cards for those two. The aunt said, okay, where are you on the love spectrum? He said, we're dating. We're dating. We can't rush marriage. We can't rush, we're dating. Dating. Heifer just got in town. Oh, girl. Oh, Lord, the delusion. My family's putting him on the spot, but we both know this relationship is heading towards marriage. Girl, please. That's like saying his hair is heading towards real. It's not. It's never going to get there. It's not that he's not wearing his heart on his sleeve. He don't want you, Heifer. Across town, we've got Dwight and Phaedra planning the party. Oh, and this is when he has that botched nose job. Walking around looking like the scarecrow. This is when Dwight looked dead. This is why everybody was so shocked he looked good on that Housewives episode recently, when him and Sheree reviewed. Because 8 years ago, you looked dead. Child, you have been resurrected. I mean, Dwight really does look like an extra from Beetlejuice. So Kim calls Phaedra to let her know she's not able to make it to the party. Too many black people. Oh, God! Sitting through this live dolphin show. Oh, thank God I don't have kids, because I could not go to this type of boring crap. Candy said going to a Phaedra event is like a marathon. It takes all day. Oh. I mean, we only saw about 45 seconds of it, but it felt like an eternity. Oh, God, so much Kim and whining. Kendra was planning on doing this. We've got 17,000 square feet of house to move. Well, you're so rich, get it done. Back in New York with Cynthia and Nene, Nene tells Cynthia how Kim and Sweetie ran off at the Women's Empowerment event. Even. Nene's Kim impression was hilarious. What's gonna happen in 5 minutes? This is the Nene we loved. What happened to her? Man, everybody riding Kim about moving out of her dream home. Oh, God, and Nene has a hat on, but the back of her head is still peeking out. And now Nene tells Cynthia, oh, I got a butt dial from Phaedra, and she said she didn't give a fuck about you. And child, we got the recording. Well, I don't give a fuck about Cynthia coming to the party. I mean, it's a child's birthday party. Who really does care? And Cynthia, you were smart to be in the city because that was a bore and a snore. Attendance was a chore. So Nene says to Cynthia, well, at least you've seen her true colors shining through. So don't be afraid to let that friendship go. Oh my God. Nene said, I guess there is a problem with having a big ass. Now they're dialing phone. So Cynthia's going to call Phaedra out. Now, Kenya, you having Walter over for dinner and his toupee, and you gonna feed him some Trader Joe's microwave meals, plated? See, that's the thing. You want a real husband, but a microwave relationship. I mean, you couldn't even order out and plate it. You couldn't get some delivery. You went with DiGiorno. He tasted that cheap food and got on. Oh, Lord, them cicadas or whatever, they are loud as hell. I can't even eavesdrop on this dinner. Oh, God, that toupee's sitting high tonight. It looks like he's about to sweat it off. Lord. So Kenya's giving Walter indigestion with all this baby talk. If I could be 9 months pregnant right now, I would be. It seems like you wanted the baby, not the man. Lucky for you, that's what you got. Meanwhile, across town, we've got Cynthia getting ready to confront Fei about the party. So, of course, Phaedra lies and says, I didn't say that and I don't talk like that. So once Phaedra hears that Cynthia heard it for herself, well, I don't know, I don't recall, a terrible liar. Now something bitter titty. Play the tape, Cynthia. So Kim has to move back to her hovel. Whew, thank God that's over. Oh, I won Miss USA, not Miss Congeniality. Well, now it should be, I got married, but my husband doesn't live with me. We really gonna start the episode off with grand drag yet again? So now she's so happy to be back in her little hovel after she got kicked out of her dream home. Okay, Kim, okay. What's sad is Brielle used to be like that mature 14-year-old that kind of checked her mama until she started buying into her mama's BS. And then she became a too big for her britches brat. But with felonious activities, we have Phaedra and Apollo. Oh, God, and she's going on a double date with Kenya and Walter. Walter is showing up as a favor to a friend, and Kenya is showing up as a third wheel to a married couple. So Kenya sits down and immediately starts hitting on Apollo. Oh, you look like a supermodel with those glasses on. Focus on your man and his toupee. Isn't it glistening in the sun today? He's kind of fine. And you're totally thirsty. The princess of Podged. Child, Walter's like, well, shoot, I feel like a third wheel on my own double date, and I'm doing you a favor. You can find a man, clearly. Phaedra's like, he's got a great body, but you ain't gonna experience it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Phaedra gonna say he's the brains of this? No wonder it didn't go anywhere. Kenya gonna say, I think me and Apollo are feeling each other out. No, you seeing if he'll cheat on his wife. That's what you seeing. But then again, you get your just desserts when Mark comes around. So just keep living, girl. Just keep living. Child, Kenya driving these go-karts, flirting with Apollo. We done forgot all about Walter. I see why he said, you know what, I'm going to leave you for anybody. How you gonna be desperate and not dance with the one that brung you? By the end of the day, Kenya and Apollo are crossing the finish line, and Phaedra and Walter have been left black flagged on the last lap. Meanwhile, in the townhouse where Cynthia's the only one paying the bills, Peter's opening a $200 bottle of wine he sure enough can't afford. And now they're pouring it out because it's bad. Now, who thinks that was just a bad bottle of regular wine? They ain't even gonna show the label. That's Yellowtail. I know Yellowtail when I see it. Please. Just lying for lying's sake. Oh, but Nene and Greg stopped by. Well, Nene, Greg, and her hairpiece. You know, and Nene always is in a heel, and she does have long legs. She does have this moose-like grace about her. How can you be on television so confident with the back of your head looking like that? How? Oh, Cynthia said me and Peter are in a great place right now, and I am confident we'll grow old together. Okay. Oh, and Penelope arranges a trip to Jamaica. Well, production arranges it, but they gonna let him feel like a big man once. Oh, God, Cynthia, you really gonna invite Croy and Go Nowhere Kim? For what? Oh, and of course, Peter is trying to redo these vows. He said, let's go to a country where Mal isn't at, or your mama, and then maybe we could have some peace. But you still don't have any financial acumen. So we have Portia and Cordelia at the fertility clinic. But we know she goes on to have beautiful baby Pilar with a heterosexual man. Because from the streets of New York all the way out to Vegas, it doesn't matter if you're rich or semi-famous, because you can't get someone pregnant in the anus. No, you can't get someone pregnant in the anus. Yeah. Here we go with Candy and Cynthia having a lunch. So Cynthia invites her and Todd on the couples trip. Child, this is back when Candy would actually share food. Candy wants to know what Needy's motivave is for inviting Kim and Croy to prove that they're not gonna go, although Kim is heavy pregnant, like a roach. Just like a roach. So now Cynthia and Nene are going to see Portia at her family's foundation, where they feed people 265 days a year. We don't hear nothing about Nene's foundation anymore. Remember when you got on one of these shows and the first thing you had to do was file your 59C or whatever and get your foundation going? It was all about a foundation. They fell out about foundations on R&B Divas and everybody on Housewives until about season 8, when it's just like, you know what, we're just here for the drama and the drinks. You can stop playing at charity. But these are the tail end of the foundation days. People got in too much tax trouble with them fake documents. They had to cut it out. Nene, girl, you went from picking up food for Feed the Homeless to actually being able to volunteer. Don't you front for the camera with the back of your head looking like that. We know they gave Brent a few meals. You gonna use this sisterhood to raise money, Portia? Now, you may have married a tightwad but wealthy bottom. However, these heifers, did we even see Nene pick anything up at a charity event other than a free drink? Cynthia ain't got... All she has is a Penelope's Tommy. All she has is a Penelope's Tommy. Tommy, why do I keep saying Tommy? All she has is a Penelope Thomas Bailey bill. I mean, she's still paying for her own wedding after she had to borrow money from her mother for a cash bar. How much did he ask for Uptown again? Yeah, she ain't got shit. You could get something out of Candy. Candy actually has a dime or two. Kim, well, she's not going to give anything to black people. And Phaedra, she'll give you something, but you know the government's going to come calling for it back. The FBI is very good at repossessing funds that have been misappropriated. Phaedra be giving you that bounce check, doing all the rubber number in the world. A Phaedra check will make you think you an all-star weekend the way you watch that sucker bounce. So she wants them to do a PSA. Cynthia, she used to have a little bit of style her first 2 seasons on this show until she just gave up and just said, you know what? Just in a maxi dress with a throw-up print. I don't care. I'm not here to be fashion anymore. I did that. Give me my $1.5 million and let me go to my lake house. And I'm not mad at it. And so now Portia asked them about Skinya Moore, our leathery-faced friend. And Cynthia said, well, let me tell you how she embarrassed herself at the Jet Beauty competition. And Portia says, well, girl, she ran out my party after I messed up her title from 20 years ago. See, Portia knew to throw in that 20 years ago. Across town, Phaedra and Candy get together, and Candy sees that Phaedra's got on one of her outfits from Tags. But you need to cross-reference your inventory and make sure she actually paid for it, and she's not going to pull a wear and return. I could see her giving it to an assistant to take back because she got it with cash. She knows all the tricks of the trade. She probably got a retagger. You know she do. And now it's Sex Ed with Candy Burris. Every time we see you, we got to talk about your coochie. Every time. The other ladies don't got to bring their coochies up every episode. Now, if we need to talk about them now and again, fine. But every episode? Every episode? Okay, girl. I mean, the way Phaedra's begging for this penis ring, like you can't go order it? That's why I know she took that outfit back. But apparently Kim and Cory are coming. I hope they come up with an excuse not to make it. I don't want to see them in Jamaica. But now Phaedra's upset that Cynthia was bringing up the fact that she didn't give a fuck if she showed up to Aiden's party. Candy, you don't mind being around Kenya because she don't want it with you. Kim, you have all those boxes and the clutter to disguise the fact that you ain't got no furniture to put in your house, your town hovel. I ain't stupid. They got dog feces all over the house. I'm not surprised that's how they live. But you want to talk about roaches in Nene's house. But you got feces all up and through yours. But it's funny and cute for you. So now we've got a Ponderoro. Cynthia versus Phaedra. Cynthia has the tape. She like, okay, let's see if you lie. Oh, Phaedra shows up with a giant vase of flowers and instantly apologizes. Production let her know you've been caught red-handed. Candy shows up in her fresh Decatur quick weave. She always looks like she goes to Bloomingdale's, but she shops in the non-designer section. You look at her and it's like, girl, you know, if you spent your $40 more, you could look nice. Like, the thing is, if you gonna be frugal, you shouldn't look it. That's the problem. So Candy invited Kenya to the lunch so she can come on the trip. That's how I feel about Kenya. The name alone just makes you belch. No, I don't even mean the clearance section, because you can get some cute stuff at Bloomingdale's on clearance. I mean like that off-brand, store brand, the Mrs. section. That's where she's shopping. The Mrs. section. God, Nene and this little wiglet. She be walking in, it looks so much like a cap. Oh, I swear it would be by Kangol if I didn't know better. She got a wig by Kangol. And then the back of her head. I can't stop talking about it because it won't stop talking to me. I mean, I don't know if you should just like buzz the back and keep it really, really low, because you don't know what to do with this kitchen. You don't know, like you dye in it and that just fries it out. It don't take to the perm. Then it's permed somewhat up here, but still ate up. But I mean, it's just a thick, like 2-inch chunk of welcome mat. And it's like, girl, come on now. Everybody else gets the whole head together. The back for you is just like, forget about it. You know what? It's like natural and perm. You can't go from 4C to silky. You can't, The textures don't mix. This is hair, not mixed media art. Oh God, and here comes Kim. And she looked like she running the Target, so you know this heifer ain't staying. Kenya's like, I'm making sure I'm invited. Barely. And you invited yourself, like you invited yourself into your marriage. Girl, you really gotta find somebody that wants to be around you. But also, if you don't walk in being a butt, maybe that'll happen. You walked in and were a butt with Portia and a butt with Cynthia, and that's why they don't like you. Cynthia didn't say nothing. And Kiki said, well, I'll invite myself then. Oh, girl. I would never. I would have been so mortified to be left hanging. I would have left the table in tears. Oh, oh. No, you just no self-awareness at all. I'm gonna invite myself. Housewives of Atlanta, and this is the season when Kenya really does turn it up by trying to steal Phaedra's husband, who was trying to steal cars. So everybody was thieving. Cynthia said, look, I do not have the power of customs to turn her happy butt back to America, so I guess she's free to go wherever she wants. But if I had a friend at customs, she wouldn't be going. So Candy asked Kim, so you bringing Croy? And Kim's like, he can't. Oh, wait, yeah, he can. That's right. Let me keep my lies straight. Oh, God, now Kim's got to talk to her doctor. At 28 weeks, you can't try. Oh, here we go. I mean, this is why Nene wanted her to come. This is why she wanted the blow up. Candy was right. Nene did have an ulterior motive. Her cervix has already shortened. Oh, your cervix. And Nene's just smiling silently in her Kangol cap. Cynthia's like, we set this whole trip up around when you could travel, and now you can't go nowhere because of them babies. My due date has been moved up twice. This was the best freaking Nene. Kangol Cap was the best Nene. When she had on that really pretty multicolored tunic. Actually, I really liked that look on her. That was just, I always thought, one of her best confessional looks. But, ooh, girl, she said Kim will tell you she 2 years pregnant when she 2 days pregnant. That baby gonna come out the size of a bus. You said that's why I don't mess with her. She's a liar. But why doesn't the back of your head mess with you? That's the real question. Just sticking up like, like almost like a little mohawk. Like you got enough strands where it's, They said we gonna give the back of your head this right here. Ooh. You're 8 months already? I was 4 last week, so, it's WandaVision pregnancy. That's what it is. So it went from, I have to talk to my OB to, I just can't go. Okay, so Candy knows that Kim was going to some lake, and she said, well, why don't we just come with y'all since you got to go on a trip? Oh, she going to the lake next week when they're supposed to be in Anguilla. So everybody's irritated with Kim because they missed stuff, postponed stuff, lost out on coin, and Cynthia needed that Macy's gig to fit your schedule, and now you're backing out. I was thinking it was going to be in the United States, but out of the country, get her, Nene, get her. So Phaedra said, Heifer, you really want to be here? And Kim said, I really don't. Too many black people. Nene says, girl, you'd come with an excuse not to go shopping up the street. Now Kim never confirmed the dates. Nene damn near cussed Cynthia out trying to cuss Kim out. And now, Kim, I'm done. I'm taking my mic off. I'm not doing this. Child, nobody go to get Kim. And they try to shoo the cameras away. But that was the shit, and I'll see you soon for Basketball Heifers. Sleazy Phoebe and the bunch. So we open with Kim storming out. Corey said, you better get this camera out of here. You better get this camera out of here. You're on a public street. Back at the table, wasn't Kim 4 months? I thought she was 7 months. Phaedra said, don't ask me, because I can't keep my lies about pregnancy straight. Conceiving on air mattresses and whatnot. My mama know I'm a loose goose. Well, a loose owl in Phaedra's case. There's something about that mouth-nose combination that's beak-esque. Now everybody complaining about the money they missed for Grand Drag. Kim, you're not in a different place. You got your own little spinoff, so you felt like you didn't have to slum it with black people anymore. Let's be real. That's why you stopped showing up. Cynthia got in a good dig. We all have children, except for you, Kenya, and we all managed to work it out. Shay, since she wanted to invite herself. So now there's enough room for Kenya, Walter, and his collection of toupees. Because you know he got a high top and a low top fade. From the Steve Harvey Peel-On collection. And of course, Kenya tells everybody what he does, and Candy's like, I know him. I wouldn't give him a whiff, but yeah, I know him. Oh, girl, she said my career is doing good in Hollywood. I don't have to audition much, 'cause you ain't in nothing. And this production company that can't produce a pilot. Girl, pilot. Ooh, and then Fun Nene pops out. She said, well, you know, I'm coming with my album soon called Excuses. We all gonna do a video and one of us gonna be pregnant. No more excuses on why you can't show up, yeah. No more excuses on why you don't wanna be here. Meanwhile, at Casa del Candy, Heffa Joyce and her wig arrive. And she already trying to throw a wrench in Candy's plans with Todd. Oh, this heifer gonna say, I like Todd, I really do, till it gets serious. Candy says, I cannot believe my mom said she really likes Todd. Well, don't, because she doesn't. Leopards don't change their spots, but your mama will change her wig, but not her attitude. What? Oh, so now we talk about Kim and Croy and how they ain't coming on the trip. And apparently Kim ain't talking to her mama and had her mama put out of her wedding. I thought we saw the daddy hanging about, though, when I was fast forwarding, but you know, old faces with jowls can run together. Heffa Joyce said, well, hell, if she'll call the popo on her mama, I'm surprised she ain't messing with y'all. She just funky. It's interesting, because Heffa Joyce, you were such a Kim advocate. Oh, Nene, say hi. Come on. Remember? I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Ooh, so now we having a dinner with Broken Bougie. Cynthia and Penelope with Portia and Cordelia. Oh, Cordell couldn't make it. He had some work to do. What does he do? He's retired. Well, he's always been trying to get his own sportscaster shit on, and that's why he agreed to let Portia come on the show, because it would raise his Q rating. And it did. It let everybody know he was a queer. And so this is when Portia and Cordelia get invited to Anguilla. And she says, now the girl you had to kick out of your party is coming too. Okay, I see Cynthia's throwing her little digs. Look at her trying to be interesting outside of Nene. Well, Cynthia says, long story short, she invited herself to come. Oh, Cynthia says, shoot, any enemy of Kenya is a friend of mine. I need backup. Because Nene will hush me up. Like she did at that table with Kim. All right, so now we have our usual late arrival at the airport. They can't be that late because they got to get through security and get to their flight on time. But I've heard production is able to get them through quicker because they're a large group. So Kenya shows up and completely ignores Portia after the put out. She's lumpy but hurt. Lumpy butt, you lumpy butt. Walter don't want none of it. Doesn't want your crater face. Doesn't want your odd-shaped booty. Ooh, lumpy butt, you lumpy butt. The men, they seem to want none of it. Oh, Lord, Todd showed up comfortable. Aw, Todd surprised Candy because he said he wasn't coming. He knew she needed backup, too. So we're on the boat ride to the island. Everybody's having fun. Kenya's demanding to be the center of attention. You can't sit down and talk to Walter, communicate with him like all the other couples. You gotta be, wow, drive the boat. Ooh, Nene's hairpiece is getting ready to take flight. And again, Kenya done left Walter with the other women. And Kenya's off somewhere unconcerned about her man. This is why Walter didn't propose. That and she wasn't young enough for him. Oh, goodness, Candy's like, they better not put me in a whack room. Well, you can afford to upgrade unlike the other heifers, but you're too cheap to do so. So if you get a whack room, well, you just have to deal with it. Oh, Lord, now, after ignoring Walter all boat ride, now they see a diamond district and Kenya's saying to Walter, oh, you need to go there. For what? So he can get himself some cufflinks for the weddings that he attends without you? She said, what kind of carrots would you be looking for? He said, you asked too many questions. Child, she is putting him on the SPOT without a CLUE. Is Walter going to propose to me? I don't know. No, you know that man is not interested. Or you're a fool. But you hope? I wouldn't even want him to propose. You don't seem interested. Go on and break up Phaedra's marriage. You might have kept Apollo out of prison. Because Phaedra didn't do nothing with him but use him as a patsy and a sperm donor. So before we even get there, Kenya's calling rooms as a newbie on the trip. Phaedra and Candy are like, you're the new girl. You'll take what we give you. And then she gets there and, oh, this is a junior suite. I'm getting another hotel. Gone. No one will miss you. Take the tape from Walter's toupees and don't tarry. And again, you're ruining your moment with Walter. I can see why he wouldn't want to be with you. The second you get there, it's wine, wine, wine. First you're begging for a ring, now you're whining about the room. This is not pleasant company. Oh my God! The guy working there said, oh, well, it's a pleasure to have you. That was the politest fuck off or upgrade. Oh, you can't afford it. I need a tub and I need a bigger room so you can be further from the man that doesn't want to be around you. I can understand that. Oh, Walter asking Kenya if she took her medicine. And it's cute and funny now, but then it becomes a damaging attack later with Phaedra. Phaedra's scared of some bacterial vaginono. But I think that's just because you got a dirty spirit, you do people dirty, and so you're just waiting for karma to come around and get you. So now we've got Peter and Cynthia, and they did actually have a honeymoon to Jamaica for probably, an overnight, since that's all they could afford. Or maybe someone gifted them a room. I could see that. Cynthia and Peter are getting along because she extended her contract for a few years so the money wasn't as tight. Greg and Nene are getting back together, and Nene's whispering, what's holding you back? From what, popping the question? They don't do that till the end of the trip, I think. Come on, Nene, you know the script. Ooh, and now Apollo out swimming and everybody's looking at the tiny Adonis, including Kenya. She comes slithering up long before Wendy did it. Okay, now Walter's in the pool, fling a little water at Kenya. Kenya looking at Apollo and nobody else, honey. She had blinders on, making a beeline. Okay, so then Kenya pushes Apollo in the pool. She just couldn't wait for any excuse to get her hands on his flesh. Ooh, just thirsty. A true hussy. Walter was in the pool. Why aren't you worried about your man? You done brought him to Jamaica to lust over somebody else's husband. I'm a big fan of Dance with the One That Brung You. And if you don't want to dance with them, then decline the invitation. Child, Walter's in the pool, he got his good waterproof toupee glue on, and you out here worrying about Apollo. Penelope goes over to calm Phaedra down because he can tell she about to throw a toaster in that pool. Oh, and now Apollo pick her up, get a good grip on Kenya's ass and throw her in the pool. Oh, look at where them fingers is. Oh yeah, Apollo got a hand full, if you know what I mean. But that's what happens when you're in a loveless marriage with your flunky that you're going to send to prison. He might catch feelings for someone else. I guess that's when he was feeling the craters, the lumps, and the bumps, and he decided he wasn't interested no more. Maybe he just wanted to see, what is that? Is it concrete? Silicone? What's in there? Child, Walter sidled up to her when she in the pool, looking at her, trying to get a little bit of attention. Child, she ain't interested. She like, look, I'm here for the ring, but you could definitely tell I will be cheating on you in this marriage. With somebody kind of fine. Now, why don't you think Walter is kind of fine? Is it the smell of his toupee tape that turns you off? What is it? So the next morning, everyone's at breakfast. And Phaedra comes down with her butt out. You really need to figure out a way to get Kenya to look at Walter. That's the issue. Child, you can't bring Nene nowhere. She and Angula whining about being on boats. So everybody breaks off to have some couples time, and now Kenya wants to pressure Walter into marriage after spending all of last night thirsting after and flirting with Apollo while ignoring Walter and his waterproof toupee? I wouldn't give you a ring pop. Walter's like, look, we're here. I can handle a little romance. Kenya's like, but can you handle me? I think we should just stay here and elope. You should elope with Apollo. I mean, he's already a felon, so you could throw bigamy in there. And he asked Kenya, are you really ready for marriage? Because it seems like you need a little bit of a sexual walkabout. She on that married at first sight shit. I just want to jump in and take a lot of stress out of the situation. No, it wouldn't, because then you end up with Mark. A husband in name only, if that. Walter gonna say, well, the trip ain't over with. We got 3 days. Why give that heifer false hope? Meanwhile, with the real romance, Candy and Todd are having a drink. And again, we have to talk about Candy's pulsating puss, because that's what happens when she drinks. I think that sucker's active. I told you, she works it in every episode. Oh my God. Kenya, you know what? I see why you're such a bad actress. Here we are at Phaedra's cultural extravaganza. And you like, ooh, let me stand next to this tall drink of water. And Walter just looking at you like you was just begging me for an engagement, begging me for a ring, begging me for commitment. And you can't even commit to sit next to me on the trip you brought me to. Yeah, she was embarrassing Walter. Because he definitely seemed like a fifth wheel. Walter sitting down next to Cynthia just nodding. Just nodding. Child, now Kenya backing that lumpy butt up on the Ministry of Tourism. Phaedra said, I am getting uncomfortable watching Kenya flirt in front of Walter. Aren't we all? See, she pulled this shit with Mark. That's what happened. I mean, she bent over and busted wide with a light shimmy. Child, Nene had to walk Kenya back over so she could bend it up on Walter. He was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. That's used bus. Go wash them men off. You was on the minister and Peter and Apollo. Now Kenya flirting with the hotel manager, and I mean just throwing herself at these men. I see, yeah, this is what she pulled with Mark. Child, he said he married, that don't stop Kenya. Where you from? She thinks that getting Walter jealous is the way. Ooh, not at this age. That's some little girl shit. Did she just ask, have you donated to any sperm banks from a perfect stranger? See, this isn't kooky and eccentric. This is desperate and sad. What do you want Walter for if you... Girl, but you want a ring from Walter. Oh, Lord, Cynthia. I'ma give your wig a pass because you was on the boat all day. Although you are a fashion model and should know how to work with a windswept piece. But now they talk about how Apollo was picking up Kenya. And Peter was like, I knew I couldn't do that. And now Kenya comes out and basically asks them for a threesome. If you had to give Apollo a birthday present involving 2 of your friends, who would they be? Phaedra said, if you don't go on with that bullshit. So we open with Kenya's inappropriate proposition. You can't even get a treat from Walter, but you asking Phaedra for Apollo as a birthday present. Nene's like, dang Kenya, dance with the one that brung you. The second another man comes around, you ignore Walter. You only care about him when the camera's on. So now Nene's publicly questioning her relationship, and Kenya says, my relationship is fine. No, you think Apollo is fine. We don't know why you with Walter, and Walter's wondering why he's here. Packed his toupees for no reason. Packed his toupees for a trollop. Cynthia was like, Nene asked a legitimate question because, ooh, she wanted the guy that owned this house. So now we see what went on with her and Mark, because if this is her in a relationship, that ain't gonna work. I wouldn't put up with it. I would be very much, okay, well, if you want to go talk to him, go talk to him. Hey, here's $20. Buy him a drink. I'm gonna go find somebody that want to talk to me the way you want to talk to him. Because she don't even look at Walter like she want him. So Kenya apologizes and Portia accepts it, but it's stank face from here on out with them two. The truth is Kenya wanted that threesome, and honestly, Portia, I think she would have pleased you too. She's waiting for life to imitate art. She was in Trois, after all. So everybody goes back to their room for a minute, and we gonna reconvene as Greg makes dinner. But Portia tells Cynthia about Kenya bending over and busting it wide on Peter's genitals. Ho-ho! Cynthia's like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a pass, but I wouldn't have done a drop on Cordelia. I would have been in the middle of that drop. We get to know. We get to know how in the middle of that drop you'd be. In fact, the truth is, it's more about Cynthia dropping on thee. So now we've got Penelope and the surprise vowel renewal. And Greg get it on with his re-proposal to Nene, so they got a twofer. And with Penelope's budget, you need a twofer. So now everybody talk about their sex lives except Cordelia and Portia. And Kenya and Walter. So now Walter's pulling Kenya to the side, but for what? Now, the back of Nene's head is actually slicked down today, but you still get that one little mohawk piece. I need, to do a collage of the back of Nene's head. But back at the table, they talk about how Kenya begging for sperm baked no nays and flirting with every man she meet. Walter could not wait to embarrass Kenya like she has been embarrassing him by flirting with every man in front of him. So he pulled her to the side. He says, tomorrow, Penelope and Cynthia are renewing their vows, and I'm going to need your help. And she said, really? Mm-hmm. Not only are you not getting married, but the moment's not about you. Ooh, I know that's a knife through the heart. This should be about us. I should be having the wedding. I should be having the proposal. You trying to have too many other men. So the next morning, Nene and Kenya get ready together, and Nene asks, what's up with you and Walter? Because I don't see the connection. Neither do we, but she's sure trying to find it with another man. And now Portia enters the room, and Kenya's acting like she has sense. So now it's time for massages. Nene whining about getting in bed outside. You're getting a massage by the ocean. My goodness. Just plopped you at a Home Goods, and then I guess we could run the Cheesecake Factory. Nene, your bra is too tight because you should not be having strap marks that deep when you take it off. Since you're so rich, I'm going to need you to get your proper size. Is the bra smith on Amsterdam and 74th still open? Send her there if they still open. You've got coin for custom. Kenya pops up talking about eloping, and Nene said, what? Who are you in a relationship with? Walter don't want you. We were thinking about having a reception in Atlanta. Just lying. Just lying. Lying. He gave you a nugget of false hope. He ain't say nothing about a reception in Atlanta. We were thinking. Ain't no we. So Nene trying to tell Kenya, look, y'all don't look like a couple. You look odd. He ain't into you like that. But Kenya's got it under control. She said, well, he's not going to be out in the street seeing this chick, that chick. Because you gonna already be out there with this dude, that dude. So now we're getting ready for the vow renewal. He knows how to work a free something for his wife, because they were supposed to have that free Bentley. I don't know if I buy it as a surprise or not anymore. For a minute I did, but then Cynthia's acting came into play. And you know what? Last time she got married or remarried, they said she was going to meet the Prime Minister. This time for her surprise party, they said she was going to meet Joe Biden. Okay. I see you, Bravo. I see you. Like Candace Dillard, I see you. 'Cause I don't know how to heal a heart or where to start to describe how much I love you. I feel like this arm motion goes with that. He gave her the wedding he couldn't afford through sponsorships in a reality show. That is ingenuitive. I don't know about touching, but ingenuitive. Presenting to you Mr. and Mrs. Bailey. See, Nene was using Greg for a plot line back then, because she said, I caught the bouquet and he was clapping like the clumps. Child, you didn't like your coot before he had cancer. So we doing the wish lanterns. Now, Candy's didn't go well, but Candy ended up okay. I think that not going well must have been Joyce. Heifer, Joyce. But Kenya's, yours just should have exploded. Cynthia done got married 400 times on this show. If she stay on and renew her vows, I can't do it. Girl, we gonna see your vow renewal again. Ooh, I bet you they pull it. And again, Candy's coochie makes a cameo. We just christened one of the jacuzzis. You already said it. Did we need it on Candy Cam? Oh, so when the water feels nice and warm, say thank you, Candy and Top. Oh, now I see why Nene says I don't want to talk about it every 5 seconds. So now the ladies are having cocktails, and Kenya's on one after a day of watching it be about someone else. And so we're all sitting around talking about the vow renewal, and then Nene says, I'm glad we went on this trip and I got to know you, Kenya. I had heard a lot. And Portia said, well, Kenya was different on this trip, and here we go. You seem like a different person, nice, relaxed, like nothing ever happened. So now Nene has Portia go over what happened. Nene set Kenya and Portia up for Portia to tell her version of the story, and with her side, how she felt, and her impression of Kenya, and this is ticking Kenya off. Her boils are a bubble. So Kenya isn't trying to revisit it, but Portia wants to hash it out. Portia says, this is why I can't connect with you. You're a non-factor to me. You're the non-motherfucking factor, bitch. Then Portia says, Kenya's a prostitute who is so hood and ghetto. I don't want to be in your circle. Well, you can't be in my circle. Don't be nonchalant with me. Portia was able to use a word. Oh Lord, Portia called her 40. That touched her nerve. Yes, I'm 40. 40 and fabulous. Just stepped off the stage. Your title was from 19. Call me a bitch one more time and see we getting real Portia. She about to show you that Decatur quick bop. Okay, so now I see why everybody was calling Kenya a tramp. Because she was flirting with everybody in front of Walter, which was tramp-esque or tramp-adjacent. You were trying to tramp. But the men didn't want your lumpy butt, your lumpy butt. I mean, Nene is just security at this point, wrestling Kenya all around the pool. You want to tell that guy you want to have his baby in front of your man? That is a little whack. I forgot the antics Kenya pulled in the first season. So they finally get them separated enough. And Kenya's like, she's a cheerleader. She's 31 acting like she's 21. So then Portia goes over to Kenya and charges, and Kenya could tell she was about to get that butt beat. I think everybody felt it. This is when the women were just security for themselves. Nene was throwing bows. Portia talking about, touch me, I will sue you, touch me. Famous last words. You're trying to revamp what you had going on 55 years ago. You're living off your grandfather's legacy. So Portia walk off and King is like, I wasn't flirting with anybody's man and don't nobody want railhead Cordelia and his tootin' booty. Now Kenya says, you gonna get punched in your face. So now Nene's trying to get her to calm down after she started this fire. Kenya talking about everything Portia said had a dig in it. You sure missed Cynthia's digs. I'm still fabulous after 20 years. Gone with the wind, fabulous. She's gone with the wind, fabulous. She's gone with the wind, fabulous. Wow. The antics she came on this show with.